Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a perfume PR haul, so all of these boxes were sent to me complimentary. With the exception of the first package, I requested these perfumes from the brand, so I knew what they smelled like before they arrived. But I am going to begin with a very special package that was sent over from the House of Creed for the launch of their latest fragrance, which is Viking Cologne. You can see bright orange box kind of gives it away that it's going to be a zesty, citrusy fragrance. And it is. I did open this already. I peeked inside, but they included a bunch of other goodies from Iceland since it's called Viking. It says, introducing Viking Cologne from the House of Creed, a new universal fragrance of boundless exploration, a bracing contemporary take on the fougere that evokes the Arctic sun glittering off azure fjords. They really paint quite a picture, don't they? It looks beautiful. Inside the box, we of course have the new Viking Cologne, the 100 milliliter bottle, very generous of them. We also have lava cheese crisps. Plain cheddar, handmade in Iceland. I know my husband will definitely love these. I don't eat dairy, or else I would enjoy them myself. Then we have this Einstock Olgerd Icelandic Arctic Pale Ale. This I will enjoy. It's a bar of Omnom chocolate from Reykjavik. It says 66% Madagascar. I think this is a dark chocolate bar. Yes, organic chocolate. And then the last thing in the box is this 66 North fanny pack. Kind of feels like a lunchbox. I'm sure if you wanted to keep cold beer in there or maybe something warm, it would probably hold the temperature. So this is something I will also probably gift to my husband. He takes his bike out on long bike rides sometimes, so something like this is nice to have. Very nice touch. And on the tag it says 66 North, keeping Iceland warm since 1926. So I'm not familiar with this brand, but I bet it's well established over in Iceland. I think the box is a nice touch. It helps paint the picture and really bring the story of the fragrance to life. So I pulled up information on Fragrantica about Viking Cologne. It's an aromatic fougere fragrance for men. Creed says it's universal. It was launched in 2021, of course. Viking Cologne was created by Olivier Creed and Erwin Creed. Top notes are mandarin, orange, lemon, pink pepper, and bergamot. Middle notes are lavender, geranium, nutmeg, rosemary, and sage. Base notes are vetiver, sandalwood, olibanum, cedar, and patchouli. Ooh, powerful mister. Oh, it's so nice. It's zesty, citrusy. It's very clean and fresh. Like fresh out of the shower. There's a little zip to it. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit woody, but it's not too much. It's really not a heavy men's fragrance. I think this would be perfect over the summer, perfect for the man who wants something a little bit lighter, maybe your daily wear cologne. It does kind of remind me of nature. Natural surroundings, the fjords. No, I think of being maybe by the ocean, the man who's taking his boat out or walking his dog through the woods. You know, those manly activities. I really like it. I think this would be incredible on a guy. Father's Day is coming up. I think this would be a really nice dad scent as well. It's really good. This next fragrance was sent to me complimentary from Fragrance du Bois. I love their packaging so much. Some of the most luxurious packaging I have ever seen from any brand, but they reached out after I did my Minuit et Demi review and they offered to send me another fragrance complimentary. So first they sent over their Discovery set and I went through each one and there was a clear winner. While there were a few that I felt were very beautiful, this was the one that stood out to me the most, and it is an incredible fragrance. It's not just the best of the bunch, it was something that I immediately fell in love with. So this is Oud Jaune, which I believe is the color yellow in French. So let me open the box. It says Pure Oud, Pure Luxury, because that would be considered to be, I guess, the hero note of the brand. So inside the box is another box. And when you open it up, it has a red pillow lining, and that is where the fragrance is sitting. The Fragrance du Bois bottles are some of the most beautiful I have ever seen. They look and feel huge, like little jewels in your hand. And I like that you have the little black rhinestones around the top, the black and gold. It just looks so luxurious, so glam. I haven't read the story of this fragrance, only the notes, but I would imagine it's called Eau de Jaune Intense because the juice gives off sort of a yellowy orange hue. It's not quite caramel and it's definitely not clear. It's very pretty though. It's an amber floral fragrance for both men and women, launched in 2013. Top notes are Tahitian tiara flower, pineapple, fruity notes, and ylang ylang. Middle notes are jasmine, white flowers, and orange blossom. Base notes are vanilla, musk, and oud. This is the first time I've opened up the box, so I haven't smelled this fragrance since the Discovery set, which was a couple weeks ago now. So let's see. It jogs my memory. This fragrance is incredible. It's just as good as I remember it. It's a little bit tropical. It's very smooth. I get a lot of the vanilla. It is so perfect for summer, and it does have oud, and it is a bit intense, but the oud isn't extremely intense. I know that can be sort of a polarizing note, and some people don't really like oud at all. I do, but it has to be balanced, and this fragrance is definitely balanced. I find it to be very tropical, incredibly feminine. I just picture myself laying on the beach with a pina colada, relaxing on a vacation. This is a vacation fragrance, definitely. Perfect to take with you if you were going on a trip, but also if you can't get away, it's kind of that fragrance that will transport you mentally. And the sample lasted such a long time. I sprayed it a couple times because once I went through the Discovery set and I picked out my favorite, I sprayed it all over. I wanted to wear it for the day, make sure I really liked it. The entire room smelled like Eau de Jaune Intense for probably a day or two. Out of all of the other fragrances from Fragrance du Bois, this was the one that was bar none the standout. The others were nice. Santal Complete was a second choice, but I don't even think it was a close second, and that perfume is wonderful, but this one is just so much further ahead in my opinion. This is the type of fragrance that I will want to wear. I can't get over it. It's so beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of Soleil Blanc. Not that they smelled the same, but I think they kind of evoke the same sort of mood. You would wear them for the same occasion, the same outfit. But I think this one is so much better. It's like Soleil Blanc on steroids. If Soleil Blanc was a little bit softer and more feminine, you don't get that suntan lotion note that I sometimes pick up in Soleil Blanc. There's nothing that's bitter or harsh about this. It's just smooth, a little bit sweet. I'm incredibly grateful to Fragrance du Bois for sending this over, and I'm so happy I was able to discover this fragrance because it has quickly become one of my favorites. So now I have a sister to display next to my Minuit et Demi, and I have that one sitting in the box just like this. So I will display Eau de Jaune Intense right next to it. And then the last 4 perfumes I have here to unbox were sent to me complimentary from Twisted Lily. And if you don't know, I have an ongoing coupon code with them, so if you enter the code Erin10 at checkout, it will save you 10% off your order. They carry some of the most exclusive, really interesting niche fragrance brands. I'm constantly discovering new fragrances just scrolling their website. They also have a great candle section if you're really interested in home fragrance. But I'm going to begin with this Do Not Disturb from Willem Parfumerie. Really cool box. I have not opened this yet, so I'm really excited. I have smelled all of these before, as I mentioned at the start of the video. These were product requests because I love them so much, but I was waiting to open them until today's video. The perfume is named after the infamous Do Not Disturb sign that hung on the basement door at Studio 54, so that's the inspiration. Keynotes include pink pepper, carrot, iris, jasmine petals, ambroxan, patchouli, and white musk. And I love the bottle style, definitely stands out. It's very pretty. This is a funny fragrance because the first time I smelled it, it was from a little sample, and it smelled so interesting. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I knew I liked it, but it wasn't that I just loved it right away and I knew I wanted to spray it all over my body. I just needed to keep smelling it because it was so interesting, so different. Something about it was really just speaking to my nose, and I was trying to figure out what was in this fragrance. I kept smelling it, and the more I smelled it, the more I just fell in love with this fragrance. Now, I showed this to my husband. I also showed it to one of my girlfriends from the sample, and they also were kind of on the fence at first, but then it grew on them almost instantly. And it's so funny to see other people have the same reaction I had when smelling this fragrance, because there's just something about it. And when you read the notes, it might not sound that interesting to you, but it's kind of sparkling, a little bit fruity. Oh, I love it. Right away, I get this sparkling champagne fruity note. It's not overly sweet, but then it definitely has patchouli and some other notes in there. It's as if they took a delicate fruity floral and mixed it with a sultry, sexy patchouli incense type of fragrance. If the two came together, that would be Do Not Disturb. I have to spray it again. Yeah, it's very fruity and light right off the top, but then as it dries down, it gets a little bit more serious. It's so interesting. I can't quite put my finger on it. I can't pinpoint the exact note or what it is about the perfume that just draws me in. But I feel like there's something about this fragrance where once you smell it, you want to keep smelling it and keep smelling it, and then you just become addicted to it. It's so nice. I cannot wait to wear this for a date night over the summer. If you're familiar with this brand and you have any other recommendations that I should know about, please let me know down in the comment section. I would love to check out your picks, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. I went from knowing absolutely nothing about this brand to seeing it pop up everywhere, so I'm sure there are a lot of hidden gems that I don't know about yet. Next, we have another old favorite that people have been talking about for a really long time that I recently discovered, so I wanted to add it to my collection. It's Mancera Roses Vanille. I've heard a lot of people compare this to, I believe, Roses Musk, or maybe one of the other Montal fragrances. But I smelled a sample of this and it was love at first sniff. I thought it was so good. And this is another first from the brand. I don't own any other Mancera fragrances. I haven't tried any other fragrances from this brand, so if you have any other favorites and recommendations, you have to let me know. I also have been waiting, so I haven't opened this box yet. Ooh, that is really pretty. I like this travel bag. It's nice. Ooh. I don't know why I thought it was going to be pink or something rose, but it's very simple, clean, and elegant. I like the bottle. The top note is fresh lemon. It has Turkish rose in the middle. Base notes are cedarwood, intense vanilla, and white musk. Now it all makes sense. I've put the pieces together, and my apologies if you already knew this, but Pierre Montal is behind Montal fragrances. He's also the nose behind a lot of the Mancera perfumes. So that would make sense why people would compare the brands and compare Roses Vanille to some of the other Montal fragrances. It's a little bit drippy. Oh, it's so nice. Really beautiful fragrance. Rose, vanilla, it's a little bit sweet, sort of fresh. It's just delicious. If you love rose and you love vanilla, this is the best fragrance for you. This is a fragrance I never knew I needed until I smelled it, and it was just perfection. A little bit floral, a little bit sweet. The vanilla has a really nice, rich creaminess to it. But it's still light enough that this could be worn daytime. I almost think this is the perfect daytime fragrance. Could be your signature scent for the daytime. I think it's a standout daytime fragrance. That vanilla gives it a little warmth, a little sensuality, so it could be probably day or evening, but I will most likely wear this during the day. but it's so pretty. Incredibly feminine. And the rose is nice. It's not overpowering rose or vanilla. It's kind of the perfect combination, the best blend of both worlds. I would want to be dressed up or going somewhere special to wear this fragrance. It's so nice. But in that way, fragrance is the ultimate accessory because even if you aren't going anywhere fabulous, you're not dressed up, maybe you're just staying at home, when you spray a fragrance like Rose's Vanille, it just kind of elevates your mood, regardless of what you're wearing or what you're doing. This next perfume I discovered thanks to your incredible recommendations. I feel like by now you guys have a really great sense of my taste, so I love your recommendations because you've never steered me wrong yet. This is Dama Bianca from Xerjoff. And when I pulled this box out of the larger box, I was incredibly impressed with this packaging. It looks like a novel. It's giant and it's so beautiful with the white and the gold. It looks very regal. On the side of the box it says, Dama Bianca, the White Lady, is a story of a lady trapped within her dreams as high above the vistas she gazes out into what could lay beyond. Locked behind the walls of jealousy and deception, her only escape is the fragrant notes of fruits and flowers outside her reach. Daily bounties are brought to her by a mysterious figure, as her only sense of what the outside holds. Bright notes of lime and Chinese kumquats provide an initial burst, while white bouquets of Florentine orris and Egyptian jasmine provide the softest of heart notes. Finally, a sensual and creamy base create an enveloping aura, which keeps her waiting for more. What a story! So it really is like a storybook. The first time I introduced a Xerjoff fragrance and I asked for your recommendations, Dama Bianca and Lyra were the two that were overwhelmingly recommended down in the comment section. So I looked both of them up and I tried a sample of Lyra as well. It's incredible. Between the two, I think Dama Bianca is my favorite. But when I was reading the notes, it didn't really sound as incredible as it is. I don't think the notes really do it justice. You could easily think it wouldn't be right for you or it wouldn't be unique. But that's what I love about this fragrance, is that it is so unique. It's a little bit floral, a little fruity, but it is incredibly addictive. It has that wow factor that you wouldn't necessarily expect. I don't know, I didn't expect it based on the notes, but the first time I tried this, it was wow. I need this in my collection. I knew the first time I smelled the fragrance that I was going to get this at some point. This is Queen of the Household fragrance. You are the lady in charge when you wear this perfume. It's just incredible. I often describe Elixir from Roja. It's one of my other favorite fragrances. I always think of it as a princess perfume. There's just something that's a little bit sweet and dainty. It's incredible and it's definitely a standout, but it's a bit softer. There's something that's very demure and innocent about it. This is the queen fragrance. If Roja Elixir is your princess, this is the queen. It just has a little bit of a strength to it, like an impact. I put this on the same level as Greenwich Village, Tribeca, Baccarat Rouge 540. It's one of the fragrances in my collection that is a showstopper, standout. When you have the most incredible fancy event and you're pulling out your best fragrance, this will be one that is in the running, in the mix. I don't know if I'll grab it every single time, but it is so nice. And you don't hear a lot of people talking about this. It has that mystery factor. Well, that's not true. You hear a lot of people who love fragrance, people who are well-versed in fragrances, they live, they breathe it, they're in the community. They talk about this perfume. Outside of the fragrance YouTube realm, not a lot of people will know about this. I imagine if I went to the mall right now in the fragrance section and I polled 20 women and I asked them if they knew Dama Bianca, they would probably say no. This is one that you really have to let dry down on the skin before you judge, because when you first spray it, it's so sweet and fruity, you might think that it's nice, but it's not really elegant or elevated. But as it dries down, you get the vanilla, you get the cedar wood, and all of those other notes come out. And it becomes very complex, addictive, and just powerful. This exudes powerful feminine energy. I have one more perfume left to unbox, and I saved the very best for last. This one is my favorite. It's very hard to choose. This is one of the newer launches from Roja. I believe this collection launched February or March of this year. So it's relatively new. I don't know if it's getting the hype it deserves, but I'm about to fix that problem because I think this is the number one fragrance for summer this year. I know, it's a lot. I was trying not to be too dramatic. I know it can be sort of annoying when you hear people say, oh, this is the best. No, this is the best. This is the best. But the first time I smelled this fragrance, I was blown away. Everybody I have shown this fragrance to, blown away. They confirmed that it truly is one of the best fragrances ever, and I think it is so perfect for summer. It is 51 Pour Femme, the Essence de Parfum. It's an amber fragrance with a top note of bergamot. Middle notes are raspberry, orange blossom, May rose, jasmine, tuberose, ylang ylang, lily of the valley, gardenia, and lily. Base notes are vanilla, benzoin, violet, anise, patchouli, cashmere wood, sandalwood, orris, cinnamon, and clove. Now that description might not sound like summer to you. It doesn't sound like summer at all to me, but when I smell this fragrance, it feels like capturing the most beautiful, warm sunset you have ever seen in photographs in a bottle of fragrance. It is delicious, iconic. This instantly became one of my favorite fragrances. And again, I'm trying to hold it together and not be too dramatic, but it is just incredible. Just an insane perfume. I love these bottles. They're so beautiful. Heaven. This smells like a tropical paradise. When I say tropical, I don't mean body splash, sickeningly sweet, fruity. I mean like a vacation to Saint-Tropez. It's just amazing. I think if you love vanilla, coconut, it's a little bit soft and powdery. It is so feminine. I think you will love this perfume. I think the creaminess probably comes from the gardenia and the tuberose as well. So it has like those creamy floral notes that pair beautifully with the vanilla and the cinnamon and the musk, the other base notes. Everything from start to finish, top to bottom, the top notes, the middle, the base, they blend so beautifully. And the dry down on the skin is amazing. Now, the one thing I will say about this, when it dries down, it becomes a bit softer. Not a skin scent. It's not like it doesn't give you any projection and you can't smell it anymore. It doesn't disappear. It's not disappointing at all, but it is a bit softer. I still really love it, and I think because I love it so much, I just want to smell it. I want it to be really strong. I want everybody around me to smell it. You could probably just go in with an extra spritz or two if you wanted it to be a little bit more bold. Another spritz. That bergamot off the top is so nice. It gives it a little crispiness. You get just a hint of citrus, but it dissipates pretty quickly and you just get the floral notes and the base notes. It's a little bit fruity, but very smooth. Just delicious. I know there will always be people who don't like the fragrances that I like and don't love the same things I love, but this would be the safest blind buy, I think, in my entire perfume collection. I can't imagine somebody not liking this fragrance. When I showed it to my husband, he loved it. When I showed it to my friends, they absolutely loved it. And they gave me the same reaction. It was, wow, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It wasn't like, oh, that's nice. They also became addicted to it, said, oh, that's so good. It would be nearly impossible for me to rank my favorite fragrances of all time, But I think this would easily make a top 5 list. Now, that might not sound that impressive, but I have several fragrances that are showstopper perfumes that I just always talk about. I always love them. And this just immediately breaks into that upper echelon. It's one of the best fragrances in my collection. I would consider this to be one of my favorite new fragrances now. A top 10 for life, a top 10 must have. Definitely one of the best fragrances of the year and for summer. I'm still putting together my list of summer fragrances. I want to do the same thing I did for spring, which is to try to incorporate as many new perfumes as possible. Because I know it gets a little bit boring hearing about the same fragrances over and over and over again every season. I was looking earlier today and there are a couple new fragrances that I want to try before I put together my official list. But needless to say, this will be at the top once again. It is so beautiful. I cannot recommend this enough. And that completes my perfume haul. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you saw something interesting that maybe you hadn't heard about before. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.